Hi guys. I wanted to give you guys a play-along lesson for our first three major chords on guitar. Those first three chords are going to be C, G, and E minor. We've talked about them. We've looked at the iconic notation for them. You have the iconic notation sheets that you can read for them. But I wanted to give you guys a video just to kind of play along to practice those three chords and to play a chord progression using those three chords. So first I'm going to go over just the basic chord forms, the basic chord shapes with you if you're using basic chord shapes. And then I'm going to go over the full chord shapes with you, the advanced chord shapes, so that you can challenge yourself to do the full open chord shape. And then we're going to go over a quick chord progression so that you can practice switching back and forth between the chords. I'll give you a couple of those. We'll start with 2 chords, then 3 chords, switching back and forth. Okay, so first let's go over the basic chord forms and give you a little bit to practice those with. So the first chord we're going to look at is the G major chord, and the basic chord form for that is third finger. I swear that's my third finger. Third finger, first string, third fret. All right, and we're going to play strings 1, 2, and 3. So find that chord, and here is some G majors with a basic chord shape. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is your G major, and you can always rewind this video and practice that as many times as you want. Practice playing it. The second chord we're going to look at is C major. We're going to use our first finger on the second string, first fret. All right, first finger, second string, first fret, and we're going to play the same 3 strings: 1, 2, and 3. So that's a good C. If it sounds weird, like it's making a muty sound, sometimes you're not pushing the string all the way down to the fret. Maybe you're on top of the fret instead of behind the fret. But make sure it's making a nice clear sound. Make sure that your finger isn't resting on one of the other strings. Make sure it's making a nice clean sound. So here's your C major, first finger, second string, first fret. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can rewind this and practice along with that all you want. E minor in a basic chord form is super easy. No hands, all open strings. That means we don't put any fingers on the strings to play it. We're just going to play strings 1, 2, and 3 with no fingers. That's called playing them open. So strings 1, 2, and 3 open is an E minor. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a really easy one. So I'm going to now go over the full open chord shapes and same 3 chords: G major, C major, E minor. I'm going to give you exactly the same way we just went over them. If you're starting with just these, if you fast forwarded past the first part, it's totally fine. But let's start with the G major chord. All right, so G major chord, third finger, first string, 3rd fret, first finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, second finger, sorry, second finger, 6th string, 3rd fret. So the shape should look like this. See it? All right, and again, it should make a nice, clean sound, no muted strings. Muted strings means one of your fingers is either resting on the string that it shouldn't be resting on, it's up against. You're not pushing the string all the way down to the fretboard, or you're on top of the fret instead of behind it. Will lead to a muted sound. If you want to figure out which string is not making the best sound, play them one at a time. Get your chord shape and then play them. They should all sound clean. If they don't, you got finger resting or something, you might hear. Right? If it sounds muted, then there's something wrong with how you're playing that chord, and you need to fix your fingers on the fretboard. All right, so again, 3rd finger, 1st string, 3rd fret, 1st finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, 6th string, 3rd fret. So here is a G major. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can rewind that as many times as you need to practice it. Here is our next chord. It's going to be the C major. All right, C major, the chord shape is a little stairway, right? 1 fret up each time, but we're going to skip a little string there. So on a C major, we're going to play every string except for the 6th string. So our first finger goes 2nd string, 1st fret. We're going to skip the 3rd string and go to the 4th string with our 2nd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. And then we're going to take our 3rd finger, our 3rd step in that ladder shape, our stairway shape, and we're going to go 3rd finger, 5th string, 3rd fret. All right, again, it's 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret, 2nd finger, 4th string. Let's try that again. 1st finger, 2nd string, 1st fret, 2nd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger, 5th string, 3rd fret. Okay? And it should sound like this. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is our last of our 3 chords that we're going to use, and that is E minor. It's one of the saddest. Remember, minor chords are the ones that sound so sad. So E minor is, in this case, we're only going to use 2 fingers, and we're going to play all the strings. We use all 6 strings to play this chord. All right. So our 2nd finger is going to go on the 5th string, 2nd fret. And our 3rd finger is going to go on the 4th string, 2nd fret. So right next to each other on the 4th and 5th string, 2nd fret. Right? And we're going to play all of the chords, all of the strings. They should all sound nice and clean. Right? So again, 2nd finger, 5th string, 2nd fret. 3rd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. And here is an E minor for you to play along to. 1, 2, 3, 4. so there are our three chords. G, C major, and E minor. All right? So here is, I'm going to give you a chord progression to start, just switching back between two chords. We're going to play G and then C, and we're going to do it real nice and slow. I always think that the best way to learn is to start off real slow. So we're going to start off real slow. All right? And you can practice these switches without the video or with the video if it helps. But the first one we're going to practice is G major to C major. All right? And we're going to do it real slow. And we're just going to go G major, C major. But we're going to go even slower than that. Okay? We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to take a rest for 2 beats and play 1, 2, 3, 4 on C. So here's what it's going to sound like. Are you ready? I'm going to do it once just to show you. So just listen. Don't try and play along with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. So use the rest to move your finger position. Try and do it in 2 beats. If that's too fast for you, then don't play along. Just practice switching back and forth between the G major and the C major. Do it as slowly as you need to. All right. So here is that chord progression to practice switching. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can rewind this video, and you can also, to play that again, and you can also use the basic chord forms to switch. If that's more comfortable for you right now, use the basic chord forms to do the switches, but practice the same switches. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. So that is just the basic chord forms. All right. Once you get comfortable with that, let's add the E minor in that, and we're just going to go G, C, E minor, C. Okay. We're going to go back to C, and then back to G. So our full chord progression for this last part is going to be G to C to E minor to C, and then we're going to go back to the start of it and back to G, and then to C, and then to E minor, and then to C. In this one, I'm not going to give you any rests in between the switches. I'm going to do it nice and slow so that you can practice following along with it. And you can practice this chord progression without the play along video also, but let's give it a try. So again, that chord progression is G major, C major, E minor, C major, and then we'll start back at the top of it. All right, are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. that's a progression that you can practice, switching chords. All right, start slow. You can also use the basic chord forms for this one. It would sound like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. C. G, C, E minor, C, G, C, E minor, C. Alright, so that's a chord progression you can play along with in practice. If the video is too slow, just practice playing it slower. Practice switching first between 2 chords and then between all 3 chords. Okay? Happy practicing.